So I'm really glad to welcome you here at the Press Center of Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. Today's event is organized by Ukraine Crisis Media Center in partnership with Estonian Center of Eastern Partnership. We continue to speak, and we are trying to speak about difficult things, and we try to use simple language for this. And I repeated many times for my colleagues, for journalists, that European and Euro-Atlantic integration is not really popular among journalists. The main reason is because there is difficulty in communication, because the power of the country only communicated the association agreement or difficult terms that are far away from common daily life of each Ukrainian, and only experts could deal with such difficult issues. But we continue our work. We continue to popularize this topic. We're trying to make this topic interesting and accessible to all users of information. Our target audience is mainly Ukrainian journalists, and we believe that they are creating the links between the power and society. And in the modern world, journalists form a agenda and they influence public opinion by supporting some changes and reforms, or by rejecting them, or by silencing them. As I've said, we are trying to prove that this topic is really important for Ukrainians, and we spoke about roads, transport, ecology, wastes. We were speaking about safety of food products and the protection of consumers' rights, and today we are going to speak about SMEs in Ukraine. We believe that this topic is also important for lives of Ukrainian people, and we understand that this is more than 50% of GDP. We understand that this is about 2 million entrepreneurs who, from one side, are interested in clear, simple, transparent rules. We are interested in quality and easy service or goods from these entrepreneurs. And power is interested in developing clear strategies to think through tactics and to adapt our today's situation in business to the world rules and norms. I propose to start our work in accordance with our agenda. We will have several blocks. They are mentioned in the program. First, I would like to give the floor to our speakers to present their position and opinions. And after this, the journalists will be able to ask questions, specifying questions. And these questions should be of interest for our audience in order to create proper materials to your audience, readers, viewers. So we have here Deputy Director of the Eastern Center of Eastern Partnership, Tina Ilsen. And we also greet Ukrainian speakers, representatives of power, governmental offices, businesses. Also, we have Estonian expert, and he joined us, Mr. Raul Ribane. And first, we would like to start with Yulia Shevchenko. She is the Governmental Office for Coordination of European and Euro-Atlantic Integration. Good afternoon, dear participants. I'm really grateful for the organization of this event and for inviting me. For me, personally, this issue of development of SMEs, this is not just some work issue. This is a really important topic, and I would like to say that I take care of this topic starting 2004, but in the context of SMEs development and micro business development concerning crediting by donors. And I would like to say that from that times, in the regional context, this segment of SMEs, this sector needed proper attention. This is a specific segment, especially concerning taxation. It needs a special individual approach. And today we will speak about the sector in the framework of the direction, European direction, chosen by Ukraine. And we will speak how it is included also in the association agreement. First, we should understand what the sector is. First of all, the answer is simple. This is a driver of economy. This is a segment that always quickly responds to any changes. We all remember crisis of 2009. As a person who was in the epicenter of the events, I would like to say that SMEs segment also crossed red line concerning credit portfolio, but it was the last one. If we compare it with the retail business or large businesses, this segment, this is important topic. This sector always needed support. This is not the road in one direction. From one side, it is important to popularize and communicate from the side of government to help SMEs, but also this is important for business. They should contribute to these vectors to see where the information is lacking or to provide additional resources and instruments. Let's go back to the agreement. There are some priorities in the development of SMEs. This, I believe, is well done by the Ministry of Regional Development. This is the inclusion of this area and also availability to end through COSME program to reach foreign markets and to use credit resources from donors for some specific programs for development of business, and also about competitiveness. It is envisaged to provide some support from the state This is a reversible help for the development of the regions and SMEs, and Anti-Monopoly Committee as responsible body provides quality support, and they have good qualification in awareness and educational campaign. This is in general. I won't go into sectoral issues that are identified by the association agreement for each sector of business activity. About communication, maybe I would like to give the floor to other representatives, if time allows, if there are some comments or questions. No, we will have questions after our speakers' presentations. Thank you. We believe this is a really important topic, and this is also on the agenda. So where we are now, we believe that Andriy Slabinskyi is going to continue. He is from the Office for the Development of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. Now we would like to give the floor to Andriy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to speak and to share news about support of SMEs. Also, I would like to thank you for the format. This format is difficult things in simple words. First question we should start with is what is Office and what we do. So, Office for the Development of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, this is the group of advisors, 10 advisors, and they are at the Ministry of Development and Economic Development and Trade, and they work on the proposals to provide support for SMEs. This office is supported by the European Union in the framework of its platform for business, EU for Business. So, what to expect from this office? The activity of the office is now divided into two stages, into two groups of support we provide. First, this is information and consultancy to business. Here, there are two projects that we have: creation of information portal. The necessity is that during many events we participate in, we see that entrepreneurs do not know about opportunities for business, especially those that are in the framework of regional and international programs provided by donors. And also, many of you may know that the support by European Union, Ukraine does not use the full scope of this support. This can be due to several reasons, because some changes should be made because the needs of business are not met, and also because of lack of information about such programs or support. So the portal should provide such information, and one of the functions and I would like to tell about it in more detail. So this is navigation through existent programs of support. So an entrepreneur, for example, would like to start a business and would like to know whether he or she can get some support to satisfy their needs. And they should see resources, some public, some business resources. And information should be brought to these people. This should be reliable information. It is difficult to find out really reliable information. That's why we would like to help our users to provide basic information about who they are and what they search for, and to provide well-filtered information about the programs that correspond to needs, whether this is financing, education, or some scholarships abroad. So we will provide other services through our portal, and the person who wants to start a business or that have their own business, we will provide functions and services for these people. Also, support for the centers for entrepreneurs at regional, local levels, consultancies, and also support for entrepreneurs through these networks of centers, and there should be proper access at the community level, and many of them are provided with quality infrastructure. It is pleasant to be in these centers to get administrative services, and we would like to add additional opportunity that is to support entrepreneurs, to help such clients, to provide some information about regulatory basis if people want to start business at the local level, and also to provide information about programs of support. And also there should be proper network of agents concerning implementation and the realization of SMEs that would allow to understand what needs SMEs have at the local level, and also will improve state programs implementation. Because we often see that the state programs, they have long cycle to be implemented, so a year may pass. And if the support is needed in some season, so it would be difficult to get help and to return this money. That's why there should be support at the state level, and also we work on other proposals. These are the programs for microfinancing and education, and overall framework is that by analyzing practices that exist in the framework of international and regional programs, we work on the proposals for their sustainable implementation at the regional and the oblast and the national level. So we believe that this could help us to analyze the situation, and we may consolidate the effort and to provide proper proposals to the ministries, and then they may implement this on a regional level, and also working locally. So I have a small presentation. I took only one slide that shows the work of the network of centers for support of entrepreneurship, and it demonstrates our effort to provide comprehensive approach. From one side, there is institutional partners starting from the regional and each level that implements the policy, and from the other side you see the opportunities that are proposed by the market. And we would like to make easy access for entrepreneurs. Also, this shows that we do not have ambitions to create state consultants who should know about everything and to compete with private business consulting. This is impossible. But concerning the part of the support from the state, where the state establishes rules for business, there should be specialists that professionally know about these issues and professionally provide information to business. This is not only about regulations and limitations, but also about those services that are being created at the state level concerning starting business and checks and others that are being developed. So this is about the activity of our office, and this is the transfer from the strategy that was adopted in 2017 and until the products to help business. And we have plan of actions, but this we know what to do, and there is mentioning about Santa and about information portal and programs of support, but now someone should implement all this. So starting May, when the government adopted the plan of actions for the development of SMEs, and there is a roadmap, and who started to implement it? Yes, we do this. Thank you. And the office does not cover all activities that are envisaged, because this is also about regulatory actions and the statistics for SMEs and public procurement. So the office is dealing with soft support consultancy and education, and also about the programs of European Union, COSME program, and others. I'm a moderator, and I'm trying to help our participants, because often people do not know the names of the department. They do not know about their functions. And from the name of your office, it is clearly seen what you do. Maybe this is not a question to you, but do you have statistics about the dynamics of development? For example, you have this number of enterprise, then the number increased or decreased. Maybe their quality changed.
As to this point, I can say that there are in parallel two processes. They are interesting. The first process is evaluation and the support of the OECD, evaluation of SME support. In mid-July, the evaluation results will be available. The principles were put into the framework, into the basis of the strategy of SMEs development in Ukraine, and it unites the policy of promoting SMEs in the countries of the Eastern Partnership. The methodology is the same and it is comparable. You can compare the findings of the results of different countries according to the state statistics service. You can also find the data from them on the parameters you mentioned. Under the aegis of OECD, we got the review of the survey data of the SMEs, startups number, their entry to the marketplaces, which are comparative with the data from the countries of Eastern Partnership. I do not remember now the figures, but they will be available. This review will be available at our website. I am saying that the monitoring of SMEs data is also one of the tasks of the project. Thank you, Andriy. I'm giving the floor to Ms. Anastasiia Krylova, a representative of the Export Promotion Office of Ukraine. Please introduce yourself. We see here the name of your department. I am the Export Promotion Office of Ukraine representative. I will tell you a little bit. And my speech will be logical continuation of Mr. Andriy Slabinskyi. We are developing SMEs. Our office. Yes, we promote SMEs in Ukraine. Our target audience are small and medium businesses. For 3.5 years, the office exists in the Ministry of Economic Development of Ukraine, and we promote experts in Ukraine. We are a service organization working with businesses. We are not involved in developing legislation. We work in 4 areas: education for exporters, business opportunities, expert consulting, analytics and research, and B2G platform. As to education for exporters, so far we started with workshops for SMEs. Now we have 2 programs ongoing. Expert Revolution Ukraine and Creative Export Ukraine. Expert Revolution Ukraine is a nationwide program for 10 months, so that startups at 2 levels, they are educated to reach export markets. At the level of start, we take any company. At the level of pro, only those who have completed start program are eligible. Creative Export Ukraine is a sectoral program for creative industries. It is the 2nd year of the program. Like Expert Revolution Ukraine, it is also 2 years old. One of the most valuable results is over 4.5 million export sales of our companies, which covered our program. We also have Expert Academy, new educational program, and the 4th program is the trainers program. It touches regional administrations, regional development agencies, and expert service consultants. The trainers will be trained, and they will work as consultants on development of SMEs. The other area of our office is expert consulting. We now transfer to working with alliances and groups of companies, not individual companies. We will provide detailed consultations. So, consulting for expert alliances, we start with evaluation of readiness, maturity, then we check the idea, then we give consultations. Our analytics office develop analytics of relevant market prices, and then in the format of mentorship we communicate with the company further, and when the company is ready, then business is internationalized, then an expert from foreign country is selected. First 3 stages are free of charge for enterprises. Only foreign experts' services are paid by the business itself. Mentors consultations are free of charge. Foreign experts consultations are paid. We also have a sourcing platform. It provides a opportunity to companies to find requests for products, so foreign companies can get information about SMEs in Ukraine when they file requests to us. We launched a new service. Our consultants may work in detail with companies on all regulatory acts of the European Union and also to work on technical specifications. This year we plan 4 to 5 companies because this process takes 1 month per company. Also at our website we have reviews of the marketplaces such as Export Oz, where companies can independently find the information. The next instrument is help desk for exporters. We adapted the TN, we provide information about tariffs, quotations, and so on. We provide detailed commodity groups reviews, which were developed along with Sweden Trade Gate and along with Help Desk and Euromonitor. We provide services to individual companies. The next area is business opportunities, in which scope the companies who can go to trade fairs and other events. We can pay for 80% of costs for displaying, and also consultants costs who work for 2 months, and he also provides analytic research of the markets. This year we plan to organize 12 trade missions and 4 trade fairs by joint efforts with our partners. Do you have any questions? How many areas, how many clients per area you have? In education area we have at our Expert Revolution program 1,400 students, companies, a total of over 6,000 participants took part in education program. Education department of our office, it generates the largest number of clients who we provide services to, and 10 to 15 companies, they go on trade missions. Thank you. We listened in brief to the review of our colleagues. They provided info how to make the life for SMEs more comfortable and transparent, and now we will give the floor to businessmen themselves. How they accept these services, where we are now, and what is the difference. Ms. Tetyana Abramova, I have a question to you. Do you feel a difference? Do you feel that Ukraine goes towards the European Union? Good afternoon. We have Estonian colleagues, so I will be speaking Russian so that they can understand me. I will tell you about how we have 24 years on the market. We work in close industry. For me, it seems that we are not big, but we have built our own factory and we export to 5 countries of the world. We work in the most competitive sector in the world. This is clothing. I am a fan of production. Talking about SMEs, the country which do not invest in production, it will have no future. That is why I have been always telling that we should create a production culture starting from school. This is a painful, sore topic for me. If someone tells me that it is impossible to work in business in Ukraine, but I am a vivid example that if you have a desire, no complications will prevent you from success. There is no country where it is easy to do business, especially talking about production, but not. We work in Lithuania. We have a company. I can tell that we have a shop. It is not so easy when you try to understand the economy of other country. From the side of Ukraine, it seems that the taxes are low there, but when you start working there, you understand that the salary taxes are 70%. So there are some things which are strengths in Ukraine we can be glad about. For example, in Estonia, I think also not everything so smooth, but recent years, I would say that the state have turned its face to the businessman. We have the large number of programs of support to SMEs. There is a program, She Expert, which helps intensively to women's businesses. I would like to say that women, I do not want to insult men, but Ukrainian women, they are very proactive. So it is good when there is a business where a Ukrainian female can self-actualize. So there are many programs now to support SMEs, starting with investment funds. For example, we took part in Copenhagen Horizon Copenhagen at the fair, and Horizon Enterprises helped us to fund our participation in the fair. Talking about the development of SMEs, on the one hand, they are businesses, and this means development of economy, but start-uppers, they start businesses not only because they need money, but also because they need self-realization. So this gives drive to people, satisfaction, and if also public sector, the state helps this businessman or businesswoman, then we become a country of happy people. Being an entrepreneur for many years, I have large experience. I have been working for 28 years. When you are working in the area you like, you do not see how the years pass. We were in the lending flow all the time. Even banks engaged us so that we promote lending for other businessmen, but the state should help production to develop, because now you cannot buy equipment at 30% per annum bank loan. It is not real. My apartment was in pawn for many years. many times. Now, German banks, they lend us money because their interest rates are lower. The VAT reimbursement, it is not helping us. We can provide far more outputs to our country for the development of economy. The question is important. At the level of Ministry of Education, there are also matters to be addressed. We should train our own staff, our own labor force. We should help ourselves. We are a small company and we train our workers ourselves. Yes, we have many problems, but they make us stronger. If everything is so easy, then it would not be so interesting. So far, there is no economy, I think, in the world where everything goes smoothly and there are no problems. I would say that SMEs have been developing in Ukraine, and you can see starting with the light industries, the number of enterprises is growing, and more female are engaged as businesswomen. They become start-uppers to self-actualize, because self-realization give people drive, but the state should continue helping.
Thank you for your emotions. Please tell us about the changes, whether there were positive changes. Do you see this from the side of the state, or the changes in overall climate? Several years ago, we couldn't even dream about Europe, and today, despite being a small company, we feel ourselves world players, and we compete not with Ukrainian enterprises. We compete with the best companies of the world. We feel, in a good sense, being integrated into global economy. We go to Paris and we export to other countries. We buy Italian materials and German equipment, and we use Ukrainian hands and heads, and of course we feel included. Do you feel so? Are you players? Thank you. I believe that if we take what we feel from the market, I have been working 18 years in business. I do not hear her. So, the firm is called RITO. I understood that I have been working in business for 18 years, and I can tell you in detail what we were doing. And for us, it is really important to know about the market, and the market fell 3 times. And we lost Russian and Belarus markets. We have good relations, but we lost them as markets. It is difficult to enter other countries. This is really competitive market in Europe. Their production facilities are more technologically advanced. So we thought that cheap labor would give us benefit. it happened so when we reached Europe, we understood that they have this cheap labor, but also they have more productive technology and equipment that they have for 2%. It is really difficult for us to compete. And we started to search for solutions, how to develop, and we decided that we got united, and we have association of furniture manufacturers, and we joined the association, and we believe that together it will be easier to work. And today I would like to say that we used nearly all the opportunities, and we worked with promotion office and EBRD, USAID, and UNDP. And I believe that we used all forms of cooperation. And Stepan Ivanovich Kubiev, we together visited Israel. Now we prepared to visit London, and when we won in elections in association, the association grew 3 times, and we feel all the pains of our environment. And we have 200 members. This is 50% of production. We have 10 big enterprises and 190 SMEs. And we are being helped together with EBRD. We created the School of Furniture Manufacturers, and people go there. The owners of SMEs, they come there, and this is a small business school for 6 months. And the school provided opportunity to people to meet, to feel trust to each other. And now we are going to Manchester together with the USAID, and the analytical data was prepared by promotion office, and I believe that it really helped that we got united in our environment, and now it is easier to cooperate with funds, and big help small, and small help big. And about the help of the state, in the last 4 or 5 years now we have a VAT return, and also we do not have major checks in our companies like we had before. And BEP supported us. Yes, we didn't have major checks from the state bodies. And 7 or 8 years ago, the situation was difficult. They said that if you are more than 2, then you are organized, and we may find some sort of crime if you have some union. So, of course, we have some challenges, and we should get united, we should learn, and in several years, I see that we have problems of language, of culture, and we cannot produce a design of furniture for Europe because we may only copy, but we do not understand the trends. And some examples from our life. For example, why they have some furniture with some particular design, and there is eco-furniture, the world changes, we live in different context, and it will take many years. So this is speaking briefly. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that now we shall give the floor to our Estonian colleague so that he evaluate this movement of Ukraine in space and give us info about Estonian experience in communication with businesses. And then our journalists will have a chance to ask questions. Mr. Raul Rebane, you are given the floor. You can start. I am not a person of economic center. I am a communication center specialist. I look at this process as a process of change in mentality. So this is the main thing. I think this is very mythological process. If I ask, Estonia has 1.3 million people, and the Finland has 5.4 million. And do you know what is the difference of exports per capita between Finland and Estonia? Maybe Estonia has higher share, yes. In reality, not Finland has more exports per capita. But Estonia has higher exports. 70% of GDP goes from exports in Estonia. We are an export-oriented country, like a small boat which is very fast and can fast move and turn. 131,000 companies we have. Every 10th Estonian has his own company, and if we take NGOs, it will be 200,000. And these companies, they have export activities. We do not have large businesses in Estonia, only small ones, but we have a large number of small enterprises which employ from 1 to 10 persons. We have 120,000 of them. Nobody knows what sector they are engaged in. We know the statistic, but they are export oriented. They produce something, but it is exported somewhere, not for Estonia. They produce not for domestic marketplace. There are very many products and research activities which they conduct. This process started in 1990s because those years we had large military plants from Ukraine. There were 10 to 15,000 people working there. Nobody knew what they were dealing with, what those persons produced. In Narva we used to have textile industry. We have only now wooden industry and shale gas in the east. All this gives much incomes. We have a big problem now with lack of resources. Ukraine gives us much labor force, and there is a big pressure on salaries. Many people die because many companies die because they cannot pay these salaries because they're very high. People want very high salaries. So the situation is like that. Of course, we should thank Russia when in 1990s they placed double taxes on us. The vector to Russia died, so we needed to change our face to the West, and we were to provide high quality products for Western countries. Many people thought that we can trade with Russia in large volumes of low standard products such as but they can anytime say that your fish is of low quality, even if it is not. Then the whole sector died in Estonia because of this. very small companies, they are not fast in taking new digitalization methods. Estonia has everything digitalized. We have e-government, but small companies, they do not have resources to be digitalized in deep. What can we what experience can we share? The digitalization, it helps to fight corruption. It gives a final blow on corruption. In our country, 83% trust in tax inspectorate. Everything is digitalized. Everything goes through banks. There is no shadow schemes. There is no corruption. It starts, we can start up a company within several minutes. Our mentality is different now. Can we compete with the West? Yes, we can. The question is how to do that. If we take security, SMEs are like internet. Someone dies, someone appears. If there is a plant of 20,000 persons, which provides salaries to the whole region. We do not have such plans, but everything is good. I think we can survive, and a big number of SMEs. For example, my sister's son, he is a PhD in physics, and he has invented a special methodology of measurement of internal glass problems, and this special machine, he spends 97% of his machines outside Estonia. They have only 5 employees in their company, but the turnover is 1 million euro. They are not rich, but not poor, and he is not interested in domestic marketplace. So there is no niche in Estonia for our companies, but multiple niches globally. How have we been changing mentality? We had training programs, huge amount of them. We should look at the education as the process. The mentality changes not fast. If everyone will be like companies, whose shares I would buy? 10% of people, they want to become entrepreneurs, not more than 15% of persons. And with years, much depends on information in the state, but people should have time to share their experiences intergroups, interregions, even inside some villages. Those insiders, they can communicate, exchange information, and if they see there is a talent, they can think, let us help him, let us give him the chance to study, to train somewhere. So this is the mentality of the state, to promote, to provide training to talented people. Now I think big problems are already over. They remain in the past, but anyway, startups will continue dying. We hoped that the percentage will be of salaries 7.5, the growth in salaries. So talking in philosophic terms, we had the president Leonard Meri in 1990s. He said Estonia needs his own Nokia. Nokia brought huge money to Finland, and they after that they had 2,000 euro millionaires. Estonian Nokia is that we do not have Nokia. This is the situation now. We have SMEs, active people who take decisions on their own, but they are willing to do something to self-realize. And if someone will tell us that we will have large plans soon, it would be very insecure, it would be dangerous, because if something happens to this plant, if it dies, it may bring to social catastrophe. You also had this situation in your cities. Our experience is like this. Wait, the slowest process gives the best results. Take small steps to the right direction. You need state support to train talented young people. With time, they will help to train others that would be peer-to-peer education. There is no difference. Is it a village or a town or a city? For example, in Estonian villages, we used to have 105,000 small farms. Now we have 600,000 small farms. If someone has less than 1,000 heads at the farm, then it means that our farm is small. We have 9.5 thousand liters of milk produced annually. The villages change. The people become designers because they have internet. It doesn't matter where to work. People use internet, so not all of rural people are now engaged in agriculture. They can be any specialty. Thank you, Mr. Raul Ribanev, for this period when we have been cooperating with the Estonian Center of Eastern Partnership. We have made many we have discovered much from our Estonian experts thanks to their skill sharing, and when we create connections between our journalists and Estonian journalists to know about the reforms in Estonia. What Mr. Ribanes said is interesting, and this country is successful in everything. This story of success of Estonia is very nice. Thank you for coming to us to share your experience with us. And now we will have a round of questions and answers. Our journalists have the chance to ask questions. I have a question to Ms. Raul Ribanev. What you can advise to your Ukrainian colleagues so that we become a small boat? Ukrainian companies may become small boats, and then Ukraine will consult Estonian entrepreneurs. you are journalist, and I was also a director of program on Estonian TV. I am from communications sector. What can you do? This is what you ask. What we had in 1990s and so far, media coverage was more positive than criticizing. There were many stories of success covered at our TV channels. How some company did something, how some companies exported their products. There were very many programs communicating success stories about local users who were successful in business. And we were oriented to domestic successes to cover them. We didn't cover bad stories, and we also covered the stories how to change mentality. We helped to change mentality globally, not locally, not to think not at the level of village, but at the level of the whole world. It is very difficult for the beginning, and media can help. This means thinking big, thinking globally. For 20 years, these programs continue, such as 20 minutes story coverage of, for example, producing cheese, which you produce in your village in Estonia, how you live, how you produce, and then you sell this cheese to other countries. This coverage of success stories, not critics. I have a question to Tetyana Kolosova. Can you tell us in a few words how you started? How the idea was generated? Did you find first suppliers or first clients? It was very many years ago. I always was telling that the strength is our strong spirit. We had only one sewing machine when we started up. Now we have 100 employees and a big production facilities. When the state helps, it is easier to do, but everything is in our heart and our mind. If I want something, I do not wait. I do not wait for help. I start up and I do. This is a kind of Ukrainian dream when we think that we had nothing and then we earn some image and we produce good products and we will export to Estonia. Now we export to Lithuania. I'd like to say that today we have so many programs, so many resources, just you should not be afraid of them. And we also are mentors to several companies and we share contacts, we share skills with them. I think that optimism is the main feature of Ukrainian entrepreneurs. As soon as you get sad, this means that business is not your sphere. I think that Tetyana is a person of the category who will easily live in other culture. We do not see your surname in Ukrainian top millionaires on top of the list of Ukrainian Forbes. Yes, but I am a very happy person, and we put much into development of corporate culture. We invest. People are happy in our company. I think this is the main thing we should address. My mother has always been saying everything that could be bought with money is very cheap. Mentality should be changed. This is a large work of everyone in several regions. In some region it goes well, in some regions it may go not so well. There are enthusiasts who we name as sparkle persons. This is a type of person who is enthusiast. Every second person is a spark in Ukraine. Yes, you can do this in Ukraine. In Ukraine, the role of woman could be promoted. For a long time, it was like a man's world, but now we also have fast growth of female businesses. This is a process where there are many business ladies in Estonia now, and there is a huge resource there. We have 53% of population women in Estonia. Tetyana, I have a question to you. My name is Konstantin. We have several areas in our company. We are an information portal and also female sports clothing. I have a question. How can we get European marketplaces? How did you enter marketplace? And I'm interested in mentorship from you. I will tell you of the records. I now am training at Mohila Academy, but the professor there told us a very good thing. This is a global trend in any company which produce products or services. The product or service is 25% only. All the rest is goodwill, intangible assets. Any product can be copied, but all the rest which is over this product, this is your contacts with your clients, your client base, and these intangible assets, it encourages your client to buy from you because your client puts emotions in buying from you. So we have been putting much resources into this and our sincere actions. We will talk about mentorship with you, Konstantin, of the records. Good afternoon, my name is Irina. Petropavlivka City Regional website. I have a question to Mr. Slabinskyi. As to development of SMEs, whether our legislation is loyal to those people who want to become businessmen. Dmytro said there are many inspections and audits. It was previously. Now we do not have. Are there any periods? Grace periods in Ukraine. Well, as to non-regulatory support, regulatory support is provided by Office of Regulatory Promotion. They analyze sector by sector regulatory barriers so that they can cancel these barriers overcome the barriers, and the proposals are adopted. Their proposals are adopted by Verkhovna Rada of the government. As to us, we address non-regulatory issues. We do not see so many barriers in regulatory framework, but those which are present, they could be overcome. So I told you who you can address. You can go to the office I mentioned, which addresses regulatory framework. And talking about the inspections of business, you can go to inspections.gov.ua portal, and it shows the schedules whether your company is on the plan of schedules. I represent Kaminska TV. I have a question to Andriy or might be other speakers. Can you tell us what is the niche which is not occupied in Ukraine, so the startuppers can go into this sector where there is demand but no supply? There is no single answer to this question. There are many world trends of such activities which have not been in place just yesterday. So many new niches appear every day, and this is the task of community to decide what priority areas they want to work in. In this context, Ukraine is now launching a pilot format of so-called smart specialization, when in an individual region you identify what kinds of startups in what sectors are feasible to be launched in this particular region. And all sectors, both private and public, will cooperate in developing these trends. You should know one more thing. Ukraine is a niche itself. When the medium salary is 500 euro, if your salary is 1,000 euro, you will buy different products. So you should think strategical. In the first quarter, the medium salary in Estonia was 1,350 euro, and when the medium salaries will be 1,800 euros, the niche will change in Estonia, and it depends on the region. Businesses they appear where the demand is in place. So all the time you can find a niche in some district or some region. I have a good example. 3-4 years ago we could not think about fur sandals. Now we have fur sandals. They appear from nothing. These products, you can produce the best croissants. You can specialize in some monoproduct. If you will become an expert in it, and we are best in knitted garments, and we work only with knitted garments. It depends on the region and your skills. I would like to give an example of mentality. When regulations on hygiene they change, for example, on hairdressing, and dozens of thousands of companies work in this sector. For example, chemicals are needed for hairdressing, but if the regulations have changed, if you have the products, you can become rich very fast because you are a producer. This is mentality. Your remark, Mr. Dmytro Patis, I think that in furniture industry many niches appear because the marketplace changes fast. 6 to 7 years ago we used to produce classic furniture because our clients were civil servants. Now young people are our clients, and we see that furniture with the use of second-hand materials, this is now a niche because young people in Lviv, Kiev, Kharkiv, there are large IT companies, people move, they buy apartments in these IT hubs, and you should understand that they are other generations, those employees in these IT offices. So marketplaces, local marketplaces in particular, should be studied. I would like to thank our speakers for insights into the development of SysMEs which they provided to us. I would like to thank for this insight into the Estonian path which our colleague has shared with us, and I would like to thank our colleagues for positive emotions, for the stories of success. And we should tell about stories of success in Ukraine, and this will encourage our startups. Thank you to every participant. We will have the next event in 4 minutes.